We live in an era where everything seems to have lost its value, where relationships have become quick, disposable, superficial, where what was once sacred is now treated as mere entertainment. And in this silent process, women have been the greatest victims. Not because they are weak, but because within them lies something profound, invisible, and powerful. Something society has forgotten to respect. Their unique ability to give themselves fully, to forge bonds, to connect on levels that men often fail to understand. When a woman gives herself, it's not just her body that's involved. It's her heart, her mind, her entire soul. And every time that giving is trivialized, something inside her dies. The world calls it freedom, but in truth, it's an emotional prison. A cycle of pain and abandonment that silently erodes from within. And the greatest tragedy is that many men don't realize they're destroying what they should most protect. They don't see that the way they treat women is killing their essence. And they don't understand that by hurting women, they are also hurting themselves and society as a whole. This is the story of how men have destroyed women. When a woman experiences a sexual relationship, what happens within her goes far beyond physical touch. Her body releases a cascade of chemicals that create pleasure, bonding, and attachment. Dopamine, the neurotransmitter of pleasure and reward, floods her brain, bringing euphoria and the sense that the moment is precious. But alongside it, something even deeper emerges. Oxytocin, the hormone of bonding, trust, and belonging. This hormone is released in large amounts during sex, especially during orgasm, creating in her brain the feeling that she belongs to someone, that there's an invisible, powerful connection between her and her partner. It's as if her body says, "You are now a part of me." And here lies the tragedy of modernity. A woman's body cannot distinguish a casual encounter from a true commitment. For her brain, there is no sex without bonding. Each act of giving is a silent pact, and each rupture is an invisible pain. When the man doesn't return, when he takes no responsibility, when he vanishes after the pleasure, the bond formed within her breaks brutally. The result is devastating. A pain comparable to physical pain, an emptiness that invades her heart, and a sense of rejection that shatters her self-esteem. Science has proven that rejection activates the same brain areas as physical pain. In other words, each abandonment after her giving is not just psychological, it's physical, real, tangible. Yet society calls this normal. We live in a culture where sex is sold as fun, as an experience, as freedom. And in this process, we are trivializing the sacred and destroying the essence of women. She begins to live through repeated cycles of bonding and breaking, of giving and abandonment. Each time this happens, something inside her shatters. Trust fades, hope dims, and her capacity to believe in love diminishes. Until one day, this woman, born to give herself fully and create life, locks herself in an armor of pain, and the world looks at her, judging her as cold, difficult, unapproachable, not knowing that she is simply trying to survive the scars men have left on her soul. The cruelest part is that often men don't do this out of malice, but out of ignorance. They don't understand that for a woman, sex is not just physical. They don't grasp that oxytocin binds, that dopamine creates expectations, that her chemistry craves connection. And in their ignorance, they treat her as disposable. They enjoy the pleasure without taking on the weight of emotional responsibility. And this, repeated countless times, destroys generations of women who no longer know how to trust. We are creating a world of superficial relationships, men who don't take responsibility, women who feel abandoned, families that don't form, children who grow up without solid foundations, all because we've forgotten that the human body was not made for disposable bonds. Women in particular were created for deep connections, for real relationships, for giving that transcends the physical. Ignoring this is ignoring her very nature. And here lies the root of the destruction. When society normalizes casual sex, it not only frees men to use and discard, but traps women in a cycle of invisible pain. With each abandonment, her body screams, her mind bleeds, and her heart loses a piece. Because without them, there is no family. With each silence after her giving, the message is clear. You are not important, you are not enough, you don't deserve to be loved. And so, little by little, a woman's essence is crushed, her identity eroded, her soul destroyed. Men don't realize that by hurting women, they also hurt themselves. Because when they destroy her trust, they destroy the foundation of the family. When they turn her into an object, they dehumanize society itself. When they abandon her, they leave scars that span generations. The pain that begins in a dark room spreads to the entire world. And the result is what we already see, a lonely, cold, disconnected society, without real bonds, without true connections. The truth is harsh, but it must be said, we are destroying women. Not with weapons, not with explicit violence, but with neglect, with abandonment, with the trivialization of what should be sacred. We are destroying women when we call freedom what is, in truth, emotional imprisonment. We are destroying women when we reduce them to objects of pleasure without understanding the depth of their surrender. We are destroying women when we ignore the neuroscience that screams, their bodies were made for bonds, not for disposability. And when we destroy women, we also destroy ourselves. Without them, there is no healthy society. Without them, there is no future. Men need to wake up. They need to understand that protecting women is not about possession, but about care. It's not about control, but about responsibility. It's about honoring their surrender, respecting their essence, and not turning into a wound what should be healing. Because every time a woman is abandoned, the whole world loses. Every time a woman is hurt, humanity takes a step backward. But every time a woman is truly loved, truly cared for, truly respected, the whole world flourishes. The time has come to choose. Will we continue to destroy, or will we learn to restore? The future of women and our own depends on this answer. And the truth is, there is only one path. We need to love truly.